Hi, Julie Torrens here. Well, I've got some watercolor paper. This is the Amazon Basics watercolor paper, and I need to make some cards. So I pulled out some envelopes. These are 5 by 7, and so my card will be just a little bit smaller than that. And so I cut these 4 by 6. We're gonna use those in a moment. I've got the offcuts. How are you? I hope you're well. I saw one of those quick little videos where a person made I'm picking out a brush, where the person made a rose, a little bit different than I do. And so I thought, well, I'm going to practice that on here and see what we get. So I'm going to wet my brush, dab, and over here I've got some madder red, and I'm going to want it pretty loose, pretty watery. And she started out by making kind of in the outer edge of a rose shape. So I'm going to try that, kind of like that. And then it was filled in. Now, there was a lot of edits. She never changed brushes, but there were edits. And every time I just dipped in the water, dab. Every time there was a change, I know part of that, I'm doing the same thing. Part of that was dry time. But I don't know what else was going on. You know, it probably was maybe 45 seconds. And I saw her make a rose. This one's obviously a little darker. That'll be fine. I'm going to get a little more water, not dab. And let's make one more on here. And again, I'm just making like a wrinkly circle. And let's see what that does. Okay, I'm just going to set these aside, keep the thought, and I'm going to work on a card. Now, I have my Prismacolor watercolor pencils. If you have watercolor pencils, that's great. I pulled out a red and a green. But if you don't, a regular pencil will be fine, or a regular colored pencil would be fine. I'm just showing you what I happen to be using, but use what you have. So I want to make sort of a wreath that's not closed on the top. I thought that would be pretty. So I'm going to just use my red down on this corner, about the size that I think I'll show you, that much. And now I'm just going to go around, but not closing the top with my green, just a guideline. And let's see if we can make one of those roses. I mean, if I can't, yeah, I'm using the paper that I'm thinking about using for a card, but if I can't, what am I out? It's fine. So I'm just going to make over the red space a wrinkly outlined circle. And now I'm kind of scrubbing over that line, that red line. It can depend on the brand. It can depend on the color, the relative humidity today, what my paper is like today. I mean, sometimes these things just melt away and sometimes they don't. Today looks like a day it won't, but that's all right. Okay, now I'm going to do some flowers that we're used to. What do you think about that? And I think I'm going to start, I was thinking kind of autumny colors. So I'm going to start with some yellow. And then I've got a little yellow patch right here. And I'm going to do like around in a circle with those lines like we did on the other day. So I'm just making lines with this yellow. And I'm going to do one over here. And I think I'll do one over here. Good. Rinse. Now I'm going into the yellow ochre, which is just a little bit, and this I know is umber. I'm just going to mix it in with that umber. That's fine. And I'm going to go around again. And yes, I'm touching the yellow. They're going to mix and blur a little bit, and that's fine. Pardon me. I've never shook that cough yet from that cold, 2-3 weeks ago. But I have friends and relatives that are suffering with the same thing, so the doctor says I'm fine. And I feel fine. All right, now, same brush, and I'm just going to start pulling out some petals. Yep, they're faint. That's okay. I am not going to put a petal right up next to it. I'm leaving a space. And I'm going right over that rose. Or we hope eventually will be a rose. And one more. Yeah, that green is not melting away. Well, it's melting away. Yeah, melting away better than the red did. All right, I'm going to leave those. I just put the tip of my brush in the water. Do the same thing over here. Just pulling out, making a petal shape, but I'm pulling out, and this one's going to go right off the edge. That's fine. Good. Just put the tip in. I'm going to give it a rinse. And dab, dab. Now I just put the very tip in the water. Water on the ferrule. Okay. And here we go. Little dab of water. I'm going to give it just the tip in the water. Okay, I don't know if it's my lighting or what, but this one seems very much lighter. I'm going right into that color. I want it a little darker. Little color. Okay, the rose. Let's let this rest and let's grab our practice. Now, after this, she just did those C shapes and all like I've done before. So I'm going into the madder red, right into the color. And I'm going to put it right here, that little dot. And I'm going to start making a rose center and just see what I get. I made a little swirl. And now I'm going to make some C shapes. And now there's a break, so I'm going to go between. Uh-huh. I'm going big. Up into the... I'm going to just touch my tip to the water. Well, can't say that it looks like hers. I just went into the water and I'm adding a little bit of water and pigment. And let's try another one. Just that little snail. Little color. I'm going a little bigger here. And I'm going into the, I went into the darker and the lighter. This one's a little better. I'm not nuts about it. It's okay. Let's try again. One more. Going into that madder red, putting it right there. I'm going to turn this around. Start with this little, almost like a snail. Little C shapes. I just went into the liquidy one and then into the heavier. Well, you know what? Every one of them always comes out different. They do. Yeah. Hers look like roses that fell right off of the bush. Mine don't. But, well, it's okay. It's a rose. I don't mind it, but I don't think it's remarkably better or worse. All right. I'm going to work on these first because that rose was just so much fun. We'll see what we get. All right. I am going into this yellow ochre. A little bit watery-ish. But I'm going to rinse my brush out pretty good. And I'm going to start with just the pigment that we've got on the paper. But it's pretty dry. So I'm going to have to coax it a little. Touch of water. One more. Just a touch of water. Haven't needed the pigment yet. Not like I thought I might. And see if I can rub out some of this green. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Just dip the tip. Pulling that pigment from the center. Put the tip of my brush in, and I mean honestly just the tip. I'm giving it a bit of a scrub because of that green. Okay, I'm going to go into the color. I want to add a little bit to this one. Let's scrub this green. I'm going to get just a tip in the water. A little bit of pigment. I'm just smoothing it out a little bit. Boy, to me that green is just showing. Maybe it's not for you and I can pretend it's not there. All right, tip in the water. I'm going to give this a turn around here. Pull up some of this pigment here. Giving it a scrub. A little bit of pigment. Okay, good. Tip of the water, tip of the brush in the water. I don't really have much pigment in this little spot, so I just grab some. Tip in the water. Okay, how we doing? I'm liking it. I am putting my tip of the brush in the water. I'm just dragging it a couple of times through my burnt sienna. And I'm just making some dots. And if they blend up into the petals, that would be great. If they don't, it's okay. Just smoothing it out a little bit. All right, good. All right, let's see what we can do with this rose. Oh, Julie, what you will be willing to do on a video. But hey, I learn just like you do. I mean, I practice, I try, I get inspiration from online sources. There's just a little swirl in the middle. It felt like I liked it better when I made these petals just a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna try that. I know what you're thinking. I can hear you. I can hear you. Watch the video again. Okay, I will. You know, there's a secret ingredient. You ever have someone give you a recipe and you know darn well they forgot something? Maybe on purpose, maybe not. But yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like she added a half a cup of sugar and forgot to tell me. All right, let's work on the centers of these. I'm going into the burnt sienna and I'm mixing it up with this yellow ochre, and I'm giving it dots. Yep, a little more. Okay, good. Good. Now I'm going to take just the tip of this brush. I'm going to get a little more of that yellow. Mix it in here. And I'm just going to give, oh, I've got a smear. I'm just going to give the flower some more little folds or definition. After I'm done painting with you, I'm going to head off to the bank. My Social Security, we've talked about that. When I go to the site, and it's been more than 30 days, they said it would take 30 days. It was since September like 9th, and today is the 16th of October. But anyway, it just says that there's no action needed by me. So, how about some leaves? I think it could use some leaves. I've got some green right here. I'm going to start out with a little stem. Where? Right here. And a little stem and a little stem. And I'm just making kind of ovally shapes. Kind of forget how roses go, really. But, you know, it's a wreath. It could be anything, right? Little stem, little stick. I guess these are kind of tear shapes. Just make us a basic leaf shape. Don't get too worked up about it. And I'm just going to put a few extra little green lines there. That's nice. Maybe there's just a little leaf over here. And I think I'll give this flower some more of those on the other side. I just put my just the tip of my brush in the water. And this way. One here, one here. Little leaf coming out here. Okay. I'm going to change up the color just slightly. I'm going to keep using this, which I think is mostly green with a little olive green. I'm going to add more of the olive green. A little more. Okay. And right there's that smudge. Well, we're just gonna pretend like it was on purpose. And I'm just doing a little like that. Good. Same. How's it looking? Let me know in the comments what you think. Nice. All right, back into that. Oh, I'm running out. So I'm going to give it some of this olive green. And then this color that's just called green. A couple swipes of that. Will it be the same? Probably not. Close enough. Close enough. I think I told you, I don't know. It took me 3 hours to make an appointment at the bank. They do not publish the branch phone numbers. So I had to go to the 1-800 number. They told me, and that was, click 1, click 2, repeat the menu and blah, 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 blah. But eventually I got a human and just connected me to my branch, which was a please hold situation. But that's all right. I held and talked to me for a little while and made an appointment. And I said, now, are you the bank that's on? And I gave the streets. Not only was it not the right branch, it wasn't even the right city. It was a branch that I haven't been to in years. I said, oh, for heaven's sakes. I said, well, you can cross that appointment off because I'm not driving that far, 3-hour drive. And the last time I was sat down at the bank, I told them I was having that trouble that they were still seeing. I'm just adding leaves. They were still seeing me as that old branch, and we can fix that, and click, 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 1, 2, 3, you're all set. No, nothing was set. Okay, how are we looking? These flowers, the yellow ones, need a little something. I'm going into the color called Bright Red. Already I like it better. Just dots. Yes. Good. All right. And I hope you've noticed I've used the same brush through this whole process. It's my number 6 snap. I found a good deal on them and I ordered some more. Okay, now, it's like right in here we need a little something. But I'm going into the color called green. And I'm just going to put it right here. I've got it on the tip. And I'm just going to put a very little, that was a little more than I wanted, but that's okay. Just a little vein in the bigger leaves. I like that better. I'm going to take this green and add just a few sticks around that rose. I like that. Yes, I do. Okay. Hey, I think we're getting somewhere nice with this. I'm going over to this ochre yellow kind of a color. I'm just going to pick this side, so the left side of some of these flowers. And I just drag my brush. See, I've got water. There we go. I just dried my tip of my brush off a little bit. I'm going like this. But just on one side. I like that. All right. Let's look at this rose. I just think it looks as flat as a pancake. Can I do something about that? I don't know. But I've got some pretty thick paint going on here. And I'm just going to put some darker lines around some of the things that I pretend are petals. And already I'm liking it better. Just touch the tip. Touch the tip. Okay. Hey. Yes. All right. I'm going to put, hang on to your hat. I'm going to put some blue on this. How are we doing for time? We're okay. I've got some blue right here. And we're going small. Small, small. I'm just going to make little circles. I'm going to make one over here. Little circles, little dots. I'm going to widen this one out. A little more blue. Over where? Over here? Over here? You can make dots. I know you can. Nice. Yep. Little over here. Fantasy flowers. We don't know what they are. Nice. Okay. Rinse. Dry. Now, I'm going to grab the ultramarine blue, which is just a little bit of a different color. I've got a little space right here. Water. Tap the ultramarine. Water. And I've just been putting the tip of my brush in. All right. Drying my brush off because I want to know how much I got in there. All right. And I'm going to add some more dots. Little bit more. Yes, yes, and yes. I am kind of trying to go in between the dots I already made a little bit. Is it 100%? No, of course not. But I definitely think I'm going to just grab a touch of ultramarine. I definitely think there's less white. Well, I think that's pretty. I really do. I think that's going to make a very nice card front. All right. I am just going to set my paints aside. Is there any room? I can't completely close it because it is still wet in the tray. All right, get the water. I'm getting out my metallics. And same brush going into the yellow, well, gold. Got a little spot of gold right there. Student grade paints. It was called Fashion something. Will that help me remember? They don't make them anymore, but it was a product from American Crafts. All right, I'm just going to put some gold dots like in little threesomes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo. I'm going to put my finger. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Get some more paint. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, 1, 2, 3. A little more paint. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm just saying it out loud the way I would be saying it in my head because I want you to know, like, what was she thinking? She was thinking 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm separating the dots and I'm making them real small. And I'm not going to go above halfway. No more 1, 2, 3. I'm just adding some little dots. Here, I'll put a 1, 2, 3. Over here, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Somebody stop me. I like it. I really do. Okay. Let's grab one of these. Can I find a little dry space? And there is our little card front. Now, I don't have a card. I didn't cut a card up yet, but we can just set it like this. And I think that'll be pretty. Okay. Well, thanks for joining me. You've been here this long. Go ahead and subscribe. Today's a great day. Thumbs up if you like the video. Down here, there's going to be a video picked out just for you, and I'll see you over there.